Hi everyone, this is the JustGo session 3. This one is all about creating an event on JustGo, and so everyone can nominate on JustGo. This is actually a re-recording because the original recording, unfortunately, was completely corrupted. So do apologize for that, and hopefully that this one now works fabulously. All right, so I'm just going to share my screen and we will start. Okie dokie, so here we are on JustGo. And the first thing I'll just mention for those who haven't jumped on before is I'm Shanoa from Yandina Pony Club in Queensland. And I'm just helping out PCA do some sessions on JustGo, and hopefully you guys can have a bit more of understanding and a bit more confidence in this area. So it is definitely possible to set up competitions in JustGo, and today I'm going to show you how to do that. So we are going to jump into the event management tile. So if we're in the menu over here, and you're in your club area, it's down here. I have created a little favorite area as a club admin. I'm a secretary. These are the ones that I use the most. So event management, I'm going to click into that one. And you'll be able to see all of our different events that we have created at Yandina. It gives you a bit of a snapshot initially and a quick view. When it all loads up, there we go. All right, apologies, my internet's a little bit slow today. All right, so these are all our events. We use these for our musters. We use this for our big annual end of the year ball, some photo shoots, for all of our clinics, and that was the previous JustGo session, and our first JustGo session was how to use it for a muster as well. So I'm going to get in and show you guys straight away. We're going to go on to add new event. So ideally you would have watched at least session 1, hopefully session 1 and 2 before you're watching this one. It will just give you a little bit more of an indication on how to use everything correctly. But if you have been using JustGo for, say, your rallies or your musters, then you should be fine to just jump in straight into session 3. So event name, I'm just going to call it the PCA Combined Training. And this obviously won't be an actual live event. So category, it's in a club event. You're going to pop in your location name, and I'm going to pop in our new grounds names. Whoops, can't spell. And the address. And the little map on the right-hand side will actually jump to where it is. Alrighty, ensure that you have your time zone correct, and then you want to put in your date, and I'm going to say that it's on Saturday, 25th of May. Now, you'll always get this one up. Would you like to apply these new dates to your ticket availability dates? Say yes, and we're going to alter those when we go in, and I'll explain why. The event date ending is also the 25th, so we're going to start it at 8 a.m. and finish it at 3 p.m. Alrighty, so our event image, we're going to upload a photo, and I'm just going to pop in this one, and of course it didn't work. Oh, it's really being annoying now. Let me just scroll down. Sorry. I did have a pretty little header. Oh, there we go. Okie dokie. All right, so that's just my daughter on her horse. You can move that around a little bit. You can make it larger and smaller. Something that I would say is this preface here for your event image is make sure your image is not zoomed right in, because it will actually go in too close and you won't be able to see it all. All right, now the event details. Now, we did go through the last time and and pop everything in here. This is exactly the same. I'm not going to go through that again today. It's more so getting into the actual events and the tickets and the reporting and how to create the questions. So going over event contacts, I'm just going to put my name in. And as I've said before, change it to your club so it's not your personal. And then a role, so event coordinator. You can have multiple people in there. You can add another person as well. Alrighty, so now we want to get into tickets. Now, this is a combined training, so I cannot for the life of me remember all of the different ones. So I'm just going to, this is Queensland as well, so it's going to look different. So A1 is prelim and 60 centimeters. Now my price is going to be $40 and I'm going to cap that class with 30 riders. So I can click on my little green tick and this is going to give you just a brief overview of that, and I'm going to edit that a little bit more in a moment. I'm just going to create another one, which is A2 and it's prelim and it is an 80 centimeter class. Same thing, the ticket price is going to be $40 and that class is going to be capped at 30. And then of course we can just keep going down and adding those for each different class. I have seen people create events where they'll just put the ticket, it's the combined training, for example, and then within the ticket is a separation on where they can select which class they want to be in. Personally, I think this way, yes, it's a little bit more time invasive by having to pop each class in. But what I feel is that it gives you a quicker and easier overview to see how many people are in each class. Otherwise, you have to go into the nomination list and you have to kind of sort through there, which I'll show you how to do that. But I just personally feel that this is a much easier way to go about it. So I'm just going to create the 3 of them. So obviously you would have all your different classes that you're listing in there, your official, your unofficial. You can of course create the title of the class to something different. So official, A1, prelim 60 centimeters. Obviously you'll have your 10 and under and your 12 and under and etc. like that. So alrighty. Now that's set, but we need to go into our advanced section. So we're going to click into our little cog. Alrighty. Now, the first thing that I want you to do is, do you want to set ticket availability dates? Yes, we do. And the reason that we want to do that is that there's currently no booking end date. Okay, and the booking start date is default, it's 1901. So we do need to change that. Now, if you're ready to set your ticket up, I'm just going to quickly jump in here and whoops. That was not very clever. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so, oh my goodness me. Sorry, everyone. Thank you. All right, I want May. Thank you. Okay, so let's say I'm setting it up today on Tuesday, the 7th of May, but I don't want nominations to open till Saturday, the 11th, bearing in mind that the event is on the 25th. So I'm going to click Saturday, the 11th. And then the booking end date, we don't want that to be on the 25th. That would mean that people can nominate right up until the day of the competition. So generally you're going to want at least a couple of days to help get the last nominations in and then sort out your draw and check everyone's memberships, which we'll go over soon and I can show you how to do that. All right, so the 21st is when I want that to end. Booking start date, let's go from 6 a.m. on the 11th, and booking end date 11 p.m. on the 21st. Alrighty. Now, maximum booking quantity. If people have 2 horses, then you might want to pop in 2. And you could select prevent multiple booking if you do not want people to have to enter on 2 horses. Alrighty, so you won't use generally your installment pricing for a competition, and that is a JustGo Pro membership option. All right, but what you do need to do is you do need to restrict people. There's 2 ways of doing this. You can do it this way and restrict them from nominating in the first place if they're not a financial member of Pony Club, and because otherwise they're not covered by insurance, and then essentially your entire event won't be covered by insurance. So this is a great way to stop that from happening, but there is another way to check people's memberships and if they're active. Look, life happens, people forget. I personally signed up as a social member this year, and initially and went to enter a competition and thought, oh, I better just check that I'm a writing member. And it's just been a couple of months since I'd signed up, so I had actually made that error myself. I was still a social member, so I quickly rejoined as a writing member and was able to then jump in and nominate for an event. So we want to do restrictions. So we want to add a new purchase rule, and this is financial members only. Okay, add the rule, and we want to say member has any of the following memberships. And because this is not just a club event, you would go through and choose any club membership, and that's going to be, or you could do the other one, which I think is at the bottom, and any NGB membership as well. So that'll cover you for Queensland, New South Wales. You know, sometimes you have different people from different states into your events, so that will cover everyone. You do want to include cart checking to make sure that they're already a member before they sign up. Otherwise, if they have their membership in their cart to pay, then they can technically jump in and do the nomination and then delete the membership from their cart as they go to pay. So, all right, that's that one. Now, the next thing that we're going to do, I'm just going to go save. All right, and then the next thing I want to do is I actually want to give my club members a discount. So they're going to get a $10 discount. So the rule description is YDPC member discount. Can't spell member. Oh my gosh, I'm going well today. All right, so they're going to get a $10 discount. It's much easier to say a dollar amount than rather than percentage. And they're a member, and I'm going to add the rule and that they are going to have any. This is generally the only one you're going to use, to be very, very honest with you. All right, we're going to select all of Yandina Club memberships. Now, these are based on when you go from your membership setup, and we have created all of these. Whoops, was a bit slow. Oh my goodness. So just selecting all the writing ones, not a social member, but we often have our coaches ride as well. Alrighty, so they're all there, and we're going to press save. But the other thing that I haven't included yet is our first aid surcharge. Now, you might like to add that into that $40 nomination fee. That's totally fine. But some clubs do like to have that separated so that people can actually see how much they have to pay for first aid, because first aid is obviously a very important factor of competition. But it does vary the cost. So for a dressage or a CT competition, you only need a certain level of first aid provided. Whereas if you're running an eventing competition, then you're going to need a much higher level of care, and it costs more. So you can obviously, as I said, pop that into your actual nomination fee, or you can do it this way and add a surcharge rule. Surcharge description is first aid levy. Your grounds might even have a grounds levy, and that would be a great area that you could pop this in here. So first aid is going to be $15. First aid. All right, and add the rule. Oh, and we don't actually need a, oh, just thinking, do I need a rule on this one? I don't think I do, to be honest with you. And then can't X out because my X is hidden behind my little video. Let me just see. Yes, yeah, I can do that without the rules. So this is for anyone. This is every single person is going to get charged that regardless. All righty. So display ticket events, display ticket even if restriction rules prevent purchasing. Yes, we do. Gives them an explanation. And this is for your restriction, why they can't access this. You must be a financial PC. Oh my goodness. Member to nominate. So that will tell them, oh my goodness, I haven't actually done my membership this year, and they'll soon figure that one out. So, okay, dokie. Now that is there. Now, obviously, because we've chosen an in-person event, which is the default setting, the PCA declaration for the waiver is a default. It will always be popped there. Now, the next thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to find out some information about these riders who are nominating for your event. Unfortunately, at this point, we can't link the horses to the riders, so it won't just pop up. That is something that we, of course, are always looking ahead and trying to figure out what we can do with JustGo. So we're going to add what's called a form. So think of, I know I've talked about forms with the clinic. So it's the same kind of thing. It'll just look a little bit differently because it's a competition. So think of it as if you wanted to find out information about someone, you would give them a physical piece of paper with a form, like an actual form, and then they would fill it out and hand it back to you. This is an electronic version of that. So it's a form. So we need to click on the add form button. And the blue title is what you're actually looking for. So we're going to scroll down under there. This is the national championships. There's a horse registration one, and then all of our club ones. So all of these are questions on the forms that we have created. So camp, I'm going to go all the way to the bottom, and I'm just going to show you combined training questions. Now, I'm not going to actually add this because I'm going to show you how to create this. This was obviously from our original recording. So I'm actually going to go through in a moment and create this form. This is where you're going to find that form though. Okay, so I'm just going to X out of there, and then I'm going to say done. All right, now obviously I'm stepping you through this really slowly and talking at the same time. It doesn't take very long, but you do need to add them for each of your tickets. I'm definitely going to try and find out if we can have a duplicate here so that we can duplicate. So we can do it to one and then duplicate each ticket and just change, for example, the ticket name. That's something that will make everyone's lives a little bit easier. Now, before we go and create this form, so I can show you the questions that you want to ask for a competition, and of course you'll have your own questions that you might like to ask people. What I'd like to do is just go over these here. So notify me, what that means is that you can click on that, and do you remember how I set it so that it wasn't going to open until a certain date, but even though I would publish it today. So what that means, if someone comes across that as they're looking through JustGo, they go, oh, I like the idea of that competition, and there'll be a little button for them that says notify me when this comes open for nominations. So definitely pop that one. If you're opening it straight away, like if I was doing this event and opening it immediately once I'd finished, I wouldn't need to do that. But if you have a time between creating the event and opening the nominations, definitely pop in notify me. And that's obviously for the member who wants to nominate. Please always have a wait list. We all know that horses love to try and injure themselves, and sometimes riders too. So that, you know, if we might reach our cap, for example, and then we have a wait list that goes, and we can contact those riders on the wait list and say, hey, we've got a spot for you in the competition. All righty. We don't want to publicly publish the attendees. And now the listing privacy, something that we do in our club is when we have, especially a clinic or a camp, we will actually open it to our Yandina members, say 24 hours or even a week, depending on what it is and how much time we have, before we open it to the general Pony Club public. So we would click private for that, and then I would copy this link and I would email that to our members or post it in our closed Facebook. So only those people can, when they click on the link, can you nominate for the event. And then when I'm ready, I would go back and change that to public. All righty. So I'm going to go save as draft. And it will save that, and it's going to pop us back to us to go to the summary. So I'll go back to the summary, and there it is at the top there. PCA combined training. All right, so now if you watch the clinic one, which was number 2, the session, you will be a little bit aware of this particular area here. We're going to go into Field Management Club, this one here. Now, this is where you create your forms. So you'll see our club's list of forms, but you need to first of all jump into event booking overview. So we click on that one. We're circling on the wrong one. Why is that not working? There we go. Oh my goodness. I was thinking, where have all my forms gone? We use these forms multiple times a year, especially with our camp. We just change the month. So these are all the different forms that we have created before. So you can see this one here, combined training questions. I'm actually going to, I'll see if I can delete that one. It may or may not let me know, because it's being used as such, just theoretically being used. So that's okay. I'm going to add a new form. And this is like building a form, putting all the pieces together. So our form name, I'm not going to be able to have it exactly the same. So I'm just going to pop it as that is the name. You can choose a little icon if you like. You can search and type in horse, and there is a little horse. Alrighty. Now, this is where we build. Okay, so you've got adding a field, you've got add an attachment, you've got add a section. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to add a field first, and we are just going to do the easiest ones, horse name, and it's a short answer, and it is required. Then we go down here and we do another one, and we say horse registration, and again, short answer and required. Then we're going to have helper's name. Short answer is fine and required. And helpers, whoops, I probably should just click on the actual, whoops, number. Short answer is fine and required. So this means that they can't go past these questions without answering them, which is really important. Alrighty, and then the next one is I'm going to say job preference. Now, I'm just doing these to show you and based upon events that we've run ourselves or events that we've been to. So your club might just give jobs to certain people. Your club might do all of the jobs. All right, so I'm going to do check boxes here. So option 1, dressage penciler. Penciling. And I can't spell. Stop it. And then show jump penciling, show jump rails. You might even have setup, pack up. Look, I know some clubs ask for help in the canteen as well. Those smaller clubs that are only run by a very small amount of people, but they need to get some cash in, so they'll run an event, and one of the things that they'll do is actually ask other club members to help in their canteen. So it's just a different way. So you could pop that, any of these jobs, whichever job that you would need, you would pop in there. So that's required. All right, now that's all I'm going to ask. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to go save. And that's going to save my questions into that form, the questions that I've built. And you can see it here, PCACT questions. All right, now I want to go back to event management. I'm going to find my event, which will be at the top. I'm going to edit it. And I'm going to go down to here, go into our little event settings in our cog, scroll to the bottom, and I'm going to add that form. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom because it's the bottom one this time, and I'm clicking on the blue. So if I click on that, you can then actually see your questions and how it looks. You can also preview that in the form section, but there we go. Easy peasy. Go done. If you were going to send that out to your members, you would copy the link there, press save, and it is still in draft form, the status. So when you want to publish it, which of course I'm not going to because it's not a real event, I'm going to click on here and I would click on publish. Alrighty, so your nominations are rolling in. You'd like to have just a little look and see how it's going. Let me just jump in here. This is our current event we have open. So we're going to click on the little people button. It tells us everyone that's actually booked so far. Gives us a number as well for a really quick look. We can see the different tickets. You can click on the ticket option, and it will sort the tickets in the same section. So that's a great way to get all your different classes all showing at once. All right, so anytime you need to edit, you're going to go into this button. Anytime you want to see your people who have nominated, you're going to go into here. So what I will show you now is for our camp that we had, so we had have a big camp twice a year. We go into manage booking. Now, if I want to pull a report down for absolutely everyone, actually, I'm not going to go into reports just yet. My apologies. Let's say we have to cancel the whole camp. The whole camp has to be cancelled. Everyone needs to be refunded. It's an absolute disaster, and your brain's going, oh my goodness, how am I going to do all of this? It's so very easy. You're going to click here, and that then highlights everyone that has nominated. And then you're going to go to actions, and you're going to refund. And you click on that, and it says, are you sure you want to refund? And you say yes, and away you go. That will refund everyone at once. And the refunds are really quick too. They used to take quite a few days, like 2 to 3 days sometimes. But the other day I did one for myself. One of my girls couldn't ride anymore for a muster, and it was back in my bank account in half an hour, which I thought was really odd, but great at the same time. All right, so let's just say that this person needs to be refunded. You just hit this little button here, and it will refund just that person. So very, very easy. Alrighty, so that's your individual and your bulk refunds. Now I want to go back out before I go to reporting, because that's kind of the end of it, is I want to show you the wait list. So you go into your little button over here, your drop down menu. So you've got return to draft, viewing any attachments, and then view the wait list. So I'm going to click on view the wait list. We had a substantial wait list, excuse me, for our camp, and the wait list, when they go on the wait list, they actually have to select which ticket. So for our camp, we have different options. And for a competition, you would then, like, let's say that you'd cap the class at that 30, and someone wants to go in the prelim 60 class. Well, they actually have to select that to go on the wait list. So then it's really easy to find them. So you have the person's name and email, and the date that they went on the wait list. Please don't worry about any of this bits here or anything over here. The wait list is is still a work in progress. Something that I have asked Monel to add is a phone number, because if I need to get in touch with someone 2 days before the competition, not everyone checks their emails every single day. So it's really important to have that phone number there. So we're going to work on that, I promise. So that is how we get our into our wait list. And now what I'd like to do is actually your nominations have closed. Okay, so nominations have closed. Everyone's nominated. It's time to actually pull that report down. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to go into our manage booking, our little people. And I'm doing this for our camp because I've pre-downloaded this. So these are everyone here. What I want to do is I want to export the attendees. And we're going to hit the export button. I'm not actually going to do that because I've actually already done this, and I'm going to bring that up on the screen. And the reason that I pre-did it, as you can see, is that I have taken out a lot of the personal information that's there. So first thing you'll notice is obviously the big black areas. That's just the information that's personal, that nobody else really needs to know. The next thing that you will notice is I've got these yellow highlighted columns. This is, to me, generally the most important. You probably need date of birth as well as that. Age is great, but if you have a rider that is, say, 12 when they nominated, but they're turning 13, and in Queensland, that's when they change to the next class, then that date of birth is going to be quite important. So if you have anyone, for example, that's sitting in that 12 age group, you might want to just check their date of birth. That's for Queensland. Every state has their own divisions of age. So first name, last name, email address, date of birth, and age. The ticket name. Now, this was actually done for my for a clinic that we held. So if it was for your competition, for this particular one that we set up, it would actually say A1, you know, A2, A3, B1, etc. And it would go through all of that here. And then you can sort your Excel spreadsheet into sections based upon the ticket. And then it's really easy to see who's going to be in that class and just copy and paste them out. Now, the next few things, you've got your member ID here. What I would like to briefly talk about is, which is really important, you'll remember that when we put in the restrictions, we put in the restrictions for the financial member. Now, that would stop anyone who's not a financial member. Now, if you didn't want to do your restrictions because maybe you're just testing the waters and doing your very first event on JustGo, that's totally fine. So when you pull your report, it's really important to see this column here. This entire column is super important. Now, hopefully, we will see everyone's active. Yeah, they are. Good. It means I've done my job. So, for example, for our camp, the nomination time for camp is about 11, 12, 10 weeks, depending on when you actually nominate for our camp. So some people aren't actually Pony Club members yet. So in here, it will actually come up and it'll have expired sitting in there. Okay, so we know that we can then scroll across to this person and we go, Sharon, your membership's not paid up for this year. So it's really important, the license state. So the name gives you the name of their actual, the membership, as in the PCA membership, and then our club membership name. As you can see, it's different. So this person is, for example, this one's a junior riding member, PCA, but based upon our club is our first junior riding member. This person here is a junior riding member, but they are a second, so we give a little discount, which we don't have family membership set up yet. I've promised Monel that will be next year's membership set up. So it just shows you, just in case you're wondering what that is. The next thing is, it shows the club. So you don't need to ask that question, what club do you belong to? So these are all the different clubs. And then at the very end of this particular spreadsheet, the waiver, obviously no one can go past that waiver. So it's always going to be, yes, that's the PCA insurance liability waiver. And then these are the questions. So for this dressage clinic, we only ask that what your dressage and flat work level is that you're currently competing or training at, and then the age. Now, we don't need to ask the age, of course, because it is back over here. Okay, so we didn't need to ask that. So all your questions that you ask will actually be at the end. They're generally, unfortunately, all squished up like this. So you just drag and open your columns up so you can see absolutely everything really, really easy. This person, for example, has written that they're an adult and that they would like a AM clinic spot if it's possible, please. So, you know, it's very good to ask the questions and then you can see all of the answers as well. All right, so that's your report, and I'm just going to go back and remind you where to get that. So you're in the actual event. Let's say you're in all your list of events, and you're going to go into your manage booking, and this is the one that it was here. So manage booking, it lists everyone who's nominated, so you can see them all. Like so, and then you can go export attendees and that will give you that report. Now, if, for example, let's find one of my girls, probably one of the first people to nominate. Yeah. If you'd like to see the registration form, so the form that you created that they then filled in for individual people, you just click on this little button here. So these are the questions that we asked. This was our checkboxes. Short answer, and then we go down to our PCA waiver and liability. So what club will you be joining for 2024 was one of our questions, because I think we opened this quite early. It might have even been December. So some people were changing clubs as well. Alrighty, so we're going to X out of that. Okay, so that's how you access your nomination list, and then how you can pull down the whole list at once and then have your classes all sorted. The last thing that I will go over is the other reports. They are in the reporting section, and these are more like a financial kind of reports. So we're going to club reports. And I've just forgotten to do something, but that's okay because it shows you that it's something that everyone will forget. All right, now standard reports. You've got an event report here. If we click on that, all it does is it actually gives you a list of all your events that you've held, which is not what we want. We want to go into our customer reports. And you're going to go into the event, and you can see that there's 3 different reports. So you've got event attendees, okay, which does not include the questions. It's a little bit more just of a list and the payment that they've made. And then also there's a PDF version, which I'm just going to show you here. And this is what the PDF version looks like. It says name, writer, and they need to turn it so it's landscape and not portrait. So it's a very basic, as you can see. There's no information about anything else. If you wanted just quick, easy information about your event and the writers that were there with their member numbers, then that would be the one to do. Club event total income is obviously important, and then any refunds. Now, what I'm going to show you here is the last thing, is when you click on this one, it's going to ask for your event ID. So, whoops, I forgot to get the event ID beforehand. So I'm going to go back to my my tiles, click on event management, and I'll show you where the event ID is. We'll just keep rolling with the dressage clinic. This is your event ID. So you just copy it. And then we're going to go back to our reports. It doesn't matter how many times I've done this, I always forget that event ID. I'm going to go into a customer report and into events and event total income. Pop in our thingy, go okay. It's going to download. Going to pop up over here in a moment. My internet might be very slow. But this will give you, there we go. I can't see it because of my little video thing. There we go. Event total income. All right, and that is what the income was for the event that we pulled up, without any refunds. So if I process any refunds, they don't show on this one. Details, and it gives everyone's details there. So it's a great way to just have a quick look at everything. But if you want those really important, all those details, you're going to get that with the question, with the answers to the questions. You're going to get that in your event management, in your manage booking. Click on that one and go those export attendees, and that will give you absolutely everything you need. So that is pretty much everything for today. So thank you very much for joining along the second time. I apologize that the first one didn't work. So all those people that asked questions, unfortunately, it did not record properly at all. All right, so thank you so much. Make sure you keep watching and keep learning and get some confidence up using JustGo. Bye.